All right, final topic of conversation today is the probably something that maybe many of you could care less about, but I think we can make it interesting. I think it's something that is a relatively reasonable conversation about business in general, and that is the PGA Tour and what are they going to do about the Waste Management Open. For those that don't know, the Waste Management Open is held at Phoenix every single year. It's usually right around the time of the Super Bowl. I don't know if it's, to be fair to me, I don't know if it's the Super Bowl week every single year, but it's right around that time frame. And they've become known for their stadium seating on the 16th hole, which is a par 3. It gets ruckus. It gets loud. There's really no golf etiquette, if you want to call it that. The white collar in golf goes completely away. It becomes a little more blue collar. And it's become known as a little more of a party atmosphere. And it's fun. It's an enjoyable thing.
It's supposed to be fun.
It's supposed to be fun. That was until this Saturday. This Saturday, things kind of got off the rails a little bit. Started off with the fact that they sold tickets. They weren't scanning the tickets to get in. So they realized this about halfway through. People were getting in there that didn't have tickets, and people that had tickets were still staying in and waiting in this big, long line. And the next thing you know, you found out that, oh, by the way, just because you have tickets, we're going to have to give you a refund because we have way too many people in the premises already. And unfortunately, you're going to not be able to enter, even though you already paid for a ticket. That's strike number one. Strike number two is a situation that, well, happens when you drink a lot of alcohol. I don't suggest that it's something that we should be proud about as a society, but it happens. We all know what it is. You drink a lot of alcohol, you do things you probably normally wouldn't do. You make a fool of yourself. If you hadn't seen the Waste Management Open, and you didn't see what happened on Saturday, we're going to show you a few clips to catch you up to speed, and then we're going to talk about what it is the PGA Tour should do, where they're at with it, and what they're going to do moving forward.
Supposed to putt with that going on, Doug. Yep.
It's all right. Go watch a shot. Get him next year.
Buddy, when he's over a shot, shut the hell up, man. Guys. Come on. I'm trying to hit a damn golf shot here. It's a fucking job.
You suck cock.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. Oh, don't sir me. Somebody said it. I'm just sick of it. Just shut up.
Fucking grow up. Number one.
Oh, don't sir me. Somebody said it.
All right. So you can see, obviously, golfers are starting to get frustrated. People are making fools of themselves. It got so bad that, unfortunately, the Waste Management, as you could see in a tweet here, they had to suspend alcohol sales. 30 fans blacked out on Saturday. There was a woman that fell off the grandstands, and unfortunately, like it or not, the drink responsibly wasn't taken seriously. Listen, this isn't about some moral hierarchy of whether or not you should do what you do when you go to a place or whether you should handle yourself and how you should conduct yourself. Obviously, those are individual decisions that are made on each individual personal basis. But what I will say is, obviously, from a league standpoint, from a business standpoint, at some point you have to take control of your own event. And that's what they tried to do. It got a little loose, and unfortunately, it's built up to this point. I hope the PGA Tour realizes that this is something they can manage and control, and you don't just take it away. Now, the players, some of them are just babies. We can call a spade sometimes around here. Sometimes these golfers, they listen, they fly around on their private jets. They get their own massage therapist. They're making millions of dollars, and they're living a pretty lavish lifestyle, right? And it's reasonable to suspect that if you have that happen over the course of your life, over maybe a year, 2, 3 years down the line, you become pretty soft. And that is, well, most golfers. It would be nice if we could find a way where, again, maybe there is some etiquette, and that's where I want to talk through this a little bit with you around the room, is this. I think that there should be some etiquette on a backswing, right? Like, okay, you can't scream and yell right in the middle of someone's backswing, but we're allowed to discuss and have conversation the whole entire time. There can be a buzz around the stadium, right? there could be a buzz around the stadium. And by stadium, I mean the whole entire golf course. It'd be really nice if we could find a way to where this is the one outlier event that, again, the fans are able to be a little more vocal than usual, and it becomes more or less like a football atmosphere. It'd be nice to see that on the golf course. It'd be nice to see that on the golf course. If you hit a bad shot because you don't like the way that somebody, it sounds out there, or there's too much yelling going on, this, that, and the other, then so be it. I'm pretty sure that the PGA Tour could get smart enough to where they'd just pump in white noise on every hole if they wanted to, right? You could pump in artificial sounds to where there's not one guy when it's silent. You could just scream, and it obviously becomes very, very distracting. I would prefer them to go that route than the alternative route, which is, hey, we're going back to the way the PGA Tour has always been. Shut up. Don't say nothing. Everyone's got to be quiet. And if you don't, we're going to kick you off the premises. The PGA Tour has an excellent opportunity, in my opinion, to win some golf fans, if you want to call it, some just general sports fans over, because this is a different way to be able to get into golf. Do you feel like anything that happened over the weekend, Elliot, was an overreaction by the Waste Management, or was it a situation now where the PGA Tour has to do what's in the best interest of their league, and that is basically to kick fans out and make sure this doesn't happen again?
That was a disgrace. What happened this weekend was a disgrace. And again, you almost have to market it this way, and that's really what you started your point on, is that the PGA, obviously it's known as this very strict, follow the rules type of thing, and you get this one event per year, one event, where you just get to be crazy. You just get to act like a fool. It's basically the fans versus the players. You get to rattle everybody, and it becomes this sort of team thing for the fans just to all pile on top of every player out there, every golfer out there. We're at a point now where, unfortunately, you have to get rid of the event. Not in terms of what it is. The Waste Management Open's not going anywhere. But in terms of the craziness, you can't let a little bit of crazy, because the little bit of crazy ensues more crazy, and then it just piles on top. I think there are babies out there. I mean, I don't know what was being said, but everybody was all the golfers. A lot of the golfers were tweeting afterwards how terrible it was during back swings, just screaming, yelling. It became a place that it's not golf. We make fun of the Happy Gilmore movie. Damn you people, this is golf. But at some point it actually is. Like when Trace and I played tennis, right? Trace made the joke where tennis, you have to be quiet during certain parts because it's going to distract you. Golf's the same exact way. You can't yell during a guy's backswing. You have a little bit of concentration there. I'm all for fun. I'm all for making things like that, like a pseudo Ryder Cup atmosphere where everybody's wild, going crazy. But it does take away from the event, and what the event is a golf tournament. Shout out to, by the way, and nobody watched the end of it because it led right into the Super Bowl.
I did.
Did you?
I did. I had a separate TV.
Charlie Hoffman had a 3-shot lead with, I want to say, 5 holes to go or 6 holes to go.
Yeah, I bet some money on Charlie Hoffman to win. By the way, Charlie Hoffman was it turns out that the joke's on me, by the way, because now I look like an idiot for saying what I'm about to say. I still am convinced that was the greatest odds-on value that I've ever received from the sports books ever. He had a 3-shot lead. With 1 hole to play, and you could get Charlie Hoffman at plus money. It was like plus 110 for him to win. Now, he obviously didn't win, so I guess I'm the idiot because I thought it was free money. And thankfully for me, I didn't bet the ranch on it.
Hammer it.
But plus 110 to concede what you're getting ready to say, I thought it was a for sure guarantee. But what happened, Elliot?
Well, that would be Nick Taylor. This is a young Canadian man who obviously birdied 18, forced to play off, and beat Charlie Hoffman to win an electric tournament. But yeah, to answer your initial question, unfortunately, this will probably be the last year of going absolutely crazy. There's going to be a stricter policy when it comes to alcohol consumption at this event. And it should be. We can't have the heckling thing's fine and dandy, but you can't ruin the game.
I agree. My complaint more is more on the operational side of the Waste Management Open, whoever runs that event, than it is of the actual the way that the event has kind of morphed into. I think that the loud atmosphere for this one event can help the game of golf. And by, listen, the whole live thing, I don't think the live play louder and that whole thing, I think that's a little bit of a joke. It does stink that obviously the Dustin Johnsons, the DeChambeaus, the John Rahms now aren't available to watch on the PGA Tour because the PGA Tour, in my opinion, is just a superior product. Now, I know many people may argue that, and I don't blame them for taking the money, quite frankly. Kudos to them. But the point is that obviously Live dies by the idea of it being fun, this entertaining atmosphere. Don't know if you caught the clip of it. Obviously, we can run it. We can run it maybe tomorrow. But John Rahm's just pissed off at the world. I don't know if you've seen that at the Live Golf event. Yeah.
Why is he mad?
In fact, we'll make that the cherry on top for today. If you can pull that clip up, just type in John Rahm Live. It'll probably pop up. But ultimately, listen. My point is simple. I would love for there to be a golf tournament where there was a football atmosphere for golf on every hole. And I think that they could get that done if they made grandstands on every single hole. And they just do what hopefully every other organization does, which is manage people that are having alcohol. You can't serve people alcohol if they're already belligerent. If they're belligerent while they're there, maybe, I don't know, heighten up security where you can just start escorting these people out of there if they're belligerent. But, again, I think it's gotten to the point where people clearly tailgate before they go in, right? They're probably plastered when they walk through the gates. I don't know if it's legal or not. Maybe it would take way too long. But if you feel like somebody's belligerent, there should be a breathalyzer test. Boom. If they blow over a certain number, Elliot, they're gone.
Gone.
Don't let a few bad apples ruin the whole bunch is what I'm getting at. And although that's how this society works.
There was a lot of bad apples there.
I
feel like that was the whole tree.
I
feel like the whole tree was coming
How
down
many
there.
people went to the Waste Management Open? There's, I don't know. Somebody give me a number in the chat. 50,000 people? We got videos of 20, 30, 40 people?
30 people not being able to remember who or where they are is a tough scene.
I'm not suggesting that
Ambulance
it's
is being called everywhere.
I'm just saying you can't cancel the whole entire deal because 30 people. And listen, I'm not suggesting that that's good. I am saying that that is manageable. You can manage that. And Waste maybe should be able to manage that. Like Waste Management Open. Hopefully they could do something there to where you could figure that out. Rein it in, perhaps.